Hi guys, this is Gaurav again. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 surprises for international students at US universities. So you might be very excited, very happy to be here in the United States, but there has been some of the quite few surprises which you might be getting when you arrive at US university. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 surprises. Coming to United States for college or graduate school can introduce cultural differences that even the most prepared students might not be expecting. So from classroom etiquette to campus life, studying at a US college or university can be a quite different experience uh, from learning in another country to specific sports or any kind of get together or the networking which you might face here in the United States, which might be completely different from your nation. Now, here are the 3 things I advise other international students which you might encounter some point of time, or you might realize that these are the surprises which you might get. So the first surprise you might get is the classroom differences. Now, a US education, particularly at a graduate level school, may be more hands-on and interactive than what you have experienced in your country, um, which could come as a shock to new students who haven't prepared for that beforehand. Now, what does that mean? That it means that in United States, the professors expect you, if you're coming from a graduate school, they expect you to know your bachelor's degree knowledge. And here there are more interactive sessions. It's not like professor will come, give a lecture and go away. No. Professor will be expecting an answer from you or expecting some interaction from your level, that you ask them the questions. And also, my professor used to tell me that if you have any kind of question, tell them that you have a question. In India, we have been saying that I have a doubt, but my professor, his name was Duffy, he said that never doubt on your abilities. Like, it's not a doubt, it's a question. So that's another thing, keep in mind. Now, be informed about how the life of being a student is here in the United States. Here you are expected to be an independent learner and you should have more upfront knowledge of what you're going to study, and that's what the professors are expected to do. So if you're in a graduate level, as I said, they expect you to have some background knowledge, because here in the United States they really study very practical and interactive sessions of bachelor's degree, and then they come to master's. So they expect you guys to know something, and if not, then you have to research and study beforehand of all the classes. Now, the work isn't necessarily harder, but it's different. For example, student in the United States may take fewer courses, but delve much deeper into the subjects material than they might in India. Like, they go in depth, they do each and every research on whatever the topics are, and they go in depth. It's not like they learned, memorized, and took the answers and it's over. But here, in depth, the practical knowledge, the theoretical knowledge, they provide in depth, and they study accordingly so that it will be helpful in your future life. Now, in class, students also may expect to speak up more than in their home countries. You have to stand up and do presentations, or you have to answer. The professor might be pointing at you to answer the questions. I'm not scaring you guys, but this is how it works in the United States. You have to be prepared. Now, having to perform in the class or being invited by the professor to give a lecture can be a shock, can be a cultural shock or a class shock for most of the students. So please be prepared for that. Now that and but the channels for open communication also means that the professor demands real discussion. It's not like you will do some kind of interactive sessions rather than simple lecturing. It's not just simple lecturing, but it's like a real discussion. Now, to thrive in interactive class setting, you have to have some of sort of competitive edge. or you will get rolled over. If you are planning to come to US, you have to be competitive. There are many students, and if you're not, you will be crushed. So please be prepared for it. Now, the second most surprise you can get is the city disparities, a great difference on cities. Now, from the busiest streets of New York City to wide and flat plains of Kansas, it is impossible to geographically define United States with the single term. That can come as a surprise to international students who haven't researched the area they will be calling soon home. So if you didn't research, and if you got an admission in Kansas, and if you're looking at New York City pictures, it's not going to be that way. Kansas City might be rural and it might be silent, but New York City is very crowded, and it's like Mumbai of India, and it's well more advanced. So you have to research about that area before you go into that. Otherwise, you'll be surprised and shocked. Some of the students come from big cities around the world to the countryside of the US, and they might not like it. And you think you're going to be in a very good school, which is true. You will be in very good school, but there will be a big difference between the city and the rural area, and it might come as a shock and surprise. So you have to be prepared for school's remote area if it's located in rural area, until you find a friend who has a car and you can go out to the city and drive around, or you get a car afterwards. But till then, you have to be prepared, and your mindset has to be prepared. Okay, I'm going to a rural area and not the city area. And if you've got to admit in city, then it should be fine. No matter where you will be studying, you have to do a lot of research before you do anything. You have to be very openly researching about the universities, where it's located, how far it is from cities or your grocery stores or everything. You have to be mentally prepared so that when you come to here, United States, you are not shocked. Now, investigating the city you are going to will also help you to get a rough idea of what you will be paying for house and rents and grocery stores. So if you research it, you will be able to know what exactly you have to budget financially according to your location. Now, a month's rent or a dinner out near a city is more expensive than the remote locations like around your university. If it's in rural area, if you go to city, it will be more expensive. That's how it is. So be prepared according to the expense and also the city differences which you might see. Now, the third surprise which might come to you is the cultural barriers. Now, cultural difference is an additional challenge for international students. Now, back in India, we used to have some kind of people, like our religious people or our many background people, but here and we learned a lot about world, US, England, London, and we have a broader sense of the world, what is going around. As an international student, you need time to adjust to new culture, the amount of time depending on the degree of the similarity of the culture. Now, here American culture and Indian culture is a lot different. There are many topics on that, and here the upbringing of an American kid and an upbringing of an Indian kid, it's totally different. Here students and the American kids are more independent than we have it in India. Here they're allowed to do everything, and there are many cultural shocks which you might face. Growing up in a different nation, you might learn history of many cultures like US, UK, around the world outside of your own country. But here in the United States, they are limited people, and they might not know as much as about India as you know about United States. So don't get offended or don't be upset that they don't know anything about your nation. But as in India or your nation, you might be knowing more than what US students know about your nation. Since US also is a developed country, many people in developing country, they talk about US, so they know. Now, it might surprise how many of your US classmates won't have similar breadth of the world knowledge as you, so don't be upset over it. Many US college might have different emotions growing up, so it's completely a different topic. So this cultural difference or cultural barrier might come as a third surprise for you. So that's it, guys. These were the 3 surprises which you might get when you come here and study in the United States. So be prepared for these 3 points and research. Please research before you come so that you don't get any surprises, and you budget yourself accordingly. And good luck if you're planning to come here when I'm speaking. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.